Welcome to Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days. I actually wanted to do a Christmas theme, but that just came out. I think I've done it before, but I wanted to do something Christmassy. Oh, that's too bad because I want to like.
I mean, you made it like semi-special for
days.
episode 60, so it wasn't like super special though.
No, it wasn't special.
It was like a 33rd episode special.
Well, maybe it was. I've been thinking lots about Rambo and the sweet ballads that happen at the end of every Rambo in the credits. I freaking love them.
Sweet.
Merry
All right,
Christmas,
episode
Just.
60.
Merry Christmas.
Wait. Yeah, I guess this one it's a little weird for us to be saying that. It's a week away.
Yeah, you're a humbug guy. I've been saying Merry Christmas to
I'm
all
not
the
a
parents
humbug.
at school.
You are a humbug.
No, it's 1 week away. You say Merry Christmas. Joyeux Noel and such, okay?
Maybe after I purchase something or I do something, but I'm literally gonna see you for the whole this whole evening. I still have to see you on Monday. We're gonna be hanging out all night. We're recording our podcast that will be coming out episode 61 before, like, all right. So if you're listening to this, if you listen to this in a week, Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas coming up. It's true. Episode 61 comes out on 2 days after, 26, 27.
So this is our Christmas episode, so shut your face. Also,
yeah,
when you're walking past people on the sidewalk, you should be saying Merry Christmas. Oh, hey, you, Merry Christmas.
Oh, you would annoy me if you were just a random person walking past saying Merry Christmas. It's nice to say it to the people if you've like done a deal or something with them, but not just a random person.
I gave someone the finger today.
That's not festive at all.
No, it wasn't. But they were driving. They literally were within a foot of me.
You are such an old
They
man.
were within
I don't believe you.
foot.
I don't believe you. I'll bet you they were like a block away and you were like,
intentionally
hey,
did
down.
it. I was no. They were like four blocks away and I saw them run a red. No, they were intentionally close. I saw them laughing about it as they were passing.
Yeah, that is a bit dickish if they did it on purpose, but I don't fully believe you. But anyway, Merry Christmas upcoming.
Merry Christmas
to everybody, if you celebrate it. And this week, just a big shout out again, like we do all the time, to our patrons. You guys are awesome. We'll catch you guys in After Dark. If you're curious what our Patreon is, the main thing is you get access to After Dark, which is the podcast after the podcast. And this one's going to be a fun one. I have a new booze. Not sure if it'll come out today. It might need to. So if you're listening to this and you think, sounds like they wing this one, you would be right. Tyler is fully prepared. I literally walked in from working. My head isn't even fully out of stupid people and work right now. So if I sound a little off, it's just because I'm
He's not here right now. Yeah.
No, I'm here. I'm present. I'm always present for you, Tyler.
Oh.
All right. Tell me about your week.
Let's see. Well, today's Friday. It was the last day for our kids where we live. They're starting their Christmas break now. So now they get 2 weeks off. Did we get 2 weeks when we were? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got 2 weeks when we went to school, but it was 1 week spring break. Now they have like an 8-week spring break. Anyway, actually, last spring break, COVID started.
Kids
so they
have it
didn't get
really hard now, Ty.
Oh,
really
please.
hard.
Like 3 Pro D days a week, it seems like. Anyway, Christmas break just started. So the kids were cool and they brought home a whole bunch of, fun, cool crafts and stuff. My son, who's in kindergarten, brings home crafts every day and he's so proud of them. My daughter comes home with nothing all the time, right? And I'm like, well, what are we going to keep, souvenirs for when you're 30 and you look back on your school years? She's bringing nothing. Now it's the last day of school. She comes back with like 400 pieces of paper. Yeah.
Hoarding it.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll go through them in a bit. We're trying to come up with a system to keep a tiny bit of what they do throughout the year. So it's not like we have 3,000 boxes, of their school years when they're 30, but maybe just a couple of the years that they've gone by. So we're trying to figure that system out. But it's interesting because this week, we're pretty close to Christmas now.
I was just going to ask you, have your kids found any of their schoolwork in recycling yet? It's definitely happened for us.
I've been very sneaky with it.
The kids will be like, hey, what's this? I'm like, oh, what the heck? That's not storage.
Oh, man, the wind must have blown it. That's really funny.
You're right. I love that drawing. We're supposed to keep that up.
What was the drawing of again?
The same as all the other 40 of them, but let's keep it.
We only have one fridge, kid.
That's right.
Yeah. But no, like we're what day is it today that we're recording? It's the 18th. So we're getting close to Christmas, right? And so we're normally you'd be interacting with family or doing, family things with the extended family that we have that are close by. So it's interesting now, like we're not hanging out with them. We're not planning dates. We dropped off some gifts for people that have birthdays close to Christmas and we just dumped off their gifts as well. But it's just like, ring the doorbell. That's it. Some people don't even want to talk. A turkey gets dropped off to us from our family member that we're very fortunate enough, gives us turkeys, but it's just like a drop and go. It's not, it's a unique year. So it's, we're getting close. My wife's side of the family is a lot, they're very buddy compared to my side of the family. I love seeing my side of the family too, but they're a lot closer, I guess you could say. So it's going to be an interesting week, we'll say. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic week, but and Justin, I know you're such a dog fan. Purdy's chocolates. I don't know if Purdy's chocolates is big worldwide or just in our area of the world, but they're a fancy chocolate company out here. And so for fundraisers every year, the schools sell, Purdy's orders. And so one of the kids' grandparents bought some just to be helpful and supportive. And we had it set aside so we could drop it off to them because they live out of town quite a ways. And so we had it set aside. And my dog's such a good dog, such an obedient dog, never does anything wrong type of thing. And for the first time in like 3 years, she devours the entire chocolate order while I'm out taking the kids to school. Come back and now chocolate's really poisonous, but my dog has an iron stomach. She's yeah, maybe she's going. No, I love my dog, Justin. I love my dog, but she's just got an iron stomach. If she gets into stuff like that, everybody's freaking out. The vet's like, "Oh, you got to bring her," and I'm like, "No, you don't understand. She's totally going to be fine." Anyway, she puked in the carpet upstairs, the area rug we have upstairs a few times. That was it. There was nothing to worry about, but obviously it's gross. This is going to sound really weird. It was the best smelling puke in the world. It just smelled like chocolate. It was hilarious. In other words, when like you have a billion kids, you've cleaned up puke before, or maybe you just get your wife to do everything, but you've likely smelt it and it's so gross. Like you're gagging while you're cleaning it up. Well, this stuff, no problem. No problem. It was the easiest cleanup in the world. Baking soda, vinegar, but no gagging. That was my week, Just. You wanna talk more about my week?
No, how was you? Disgusting.
How was your week? Are you just gonna hate everybody, or are you just gonna skip it? How was your week?
Nope. My week. Okay, I'm gonna skip work because work is stupid. I hate work. You shouldn't be working on December 18th and this close to Christmas. Effing work.
Everybody should get 2 weeks off.
That's right. Anyway, so work was work, and then what was the rest of my week? I played some Cyberpunk. We had a delicious conversation about Cyberpunk this week.
That was good. It was how did you describe conversations like that before? Animated? No, it was dynamic. I think was the word. Yes.
Yeah, we were on very opposing sides. We probably still are to some degree, but I played Cyberpunk. I will say, you played on PC. For me, at least, it's been great. I haven't had any crashes. The game's actually a lot of fun. I have had way more fun now that I stopped trying to. Now that I'm just doing whatever I want. I'm not focusing that I have to try and complete the mission. And now that I've heard that side missions are actually like relevant and they're really good, so I was like, okay, good. I'll just do whatever I want then as I come across it.
Cool.
So that's made it way more fun for me, and I can just kind of hop on when I have some free time. Played the Delve event, which we'll talk about. What else? Kids finished school. I actually had a night this week where I could not sleep the whole night. I haven't had that. I can't even think in how long.
Wow.
Could not get my head to shut off because of work. Like I was actually at 4 a.m. downloading meditation apps to go like, come on, there's gotta be something. Like what will put me to sleep? I tried taking pills.
You are a fantastic person.
Oh, it was terrible. I was so irritated. So yeah, no, this week I'm done. I'm ready for bed, and I'm super busy the whole weekend, so it ain't gonna happen. But thankfully all the kids are home now, so that's awesome. Anyway, yeah, it's a weird week. We're the same way. We would normally be doing tons of family stuff.
Yep.
My wife and all the kids are actually out because it's her mom's birthday today, but obviously you can't see anybody. So they're all in different cars following the same map, going to look at Christmas lights all together, but in separate cars.
Oh, interesting. And are they all on the same phone call at the same time too?
Yeah, they're all on like a WhatsApp video chat. Unfortunately, we had to do the podcast, so I couldn't go.
Oh man, that really
Rats,
sucks.
hey?
I feel really bad for you. I know.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I'll tell you though, after this evening and afternoon of work, nobody would have wanted me in that car. We're like, next.
You have seen lights before, sister. We're moving
So it's the
on.
same with the last one. We're out. So anyway,
right.
It worked out better that I didn't go. But yeah, my week was good. This week's weird because, you know, there's restrictions in BC and you're not supposed to be around
You're not allowed to see
human
anyone
beings.
but the people you live with.
But if you go to the mall, you can be around as many people as you want. It is the dumbest thing. Walmart's packed. The malls are packed. Don't let anyone in your house.
They're suggestion rules. They're not enforced rules per se. It's
Which one?
confusing. People are all of them. No. I'm just saying. I'm not going to get into it. It just, you know, some people are confused by it all. It's confusing, but hey, it's almost done. Some vaccines started going out in our
I don't think
area,
it's
which is
almost
pretty
done.
cool.
I saw a really, I've been reading a bit of it this week, but I did see an interview with Bill Gates where he said his estimate was 12 to 18 months before we're back to normal from now.
Well, what does that guy know, right?
Idiot. Anyway, how was your PoE
listen
week?
to us. Well, I actually had a really busy PoE week. You want to do yours first?
I played Delve. I played the Delve event. I got up to
and
70.
we'll get into that still.
Oh,
You got to 70? Or
well, you asked
want
me
to
how
talk
my
about endless
PoE
Delve?
week was.
Okay.
Well, no, we can talk more about Delve later, but I'm just saying that's what I did in PoE. I played the Delve event just for maybe a day and a half, 2 days.
And you got to 70 in a day and a half? you
Easy
prick.
peasy. You can level
Ugh.
so fast in Delve. Delve leveling is way faster.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, not with Fireball.
Well, no, but as soon as you get like even just a little bit set up, Delve is crazy good leveling. But I played that, and then I actually, like, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff coming up in PoE, and there were like announcements and stuff. I have not seen almost any of it. So there have been people talking in Discord about like, oh, this and that and things. And I'm like, I don't know what any of them are talking about, and I don't have time to look at it. And I don't want to look at it and then see it for like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and then have to close it because I'm too busy. So I wanted to actually have time. And I meant to have time before we got together to talk, but some of our stuff will be somewhat live. Some of it. But yeah, anyway, how was your PoE week?
Well, you know, sometime maybe, I mean, I'm sure you've never had a rough session ever in PoE, but you know, when you have a rough session with a build, it kind of sparks that theory crafter inside you. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, what's going on? Have I always been patient with this build? Has it always sucked? Like, what's going on? Why is this not fun? Or why am I dying lots? So I had a rough session at the very beginning of the week. A lot of it was just because of circumstance on playing, I guess they're called last gen consoles now, right? Like the Xbox One, where I'd just be dealing with tons of lag. Like every time a syndicate member pops up, it's just like 0 frames per second for 4 seconds type of thing. Every individual one. And I mean, good luck doing blight encounters, or depending on what are those called? The portal I really like, breach stuff, depending on the encounter and what enemies you have or haven't killed before. Anyway, so it was a rough session, so it got the theory crafting going in me, and I was doing tons of that in my spare time, and I'd make sure that I'd finish doing some theory crafting or seeing some numbers and path of building before I take my dog for a walk, so I could mull it over for that half-hour walk. But it was good. Now, like, it's funny because I had a session just the other day of those exact same builds without tweaking them, and I destroyed the game in a good way. Like, I had a fantastic session, and I played all 3 of my guide builds, and they were fantastic. So it's just kind of funny how PoE works like that, you know, how it just depending on maybe your mood or some mod combos you don't notice, or maybe there's just IHOP builds You know what I mean? Like I'll play Righteous Fire for a little bit, and then I'll go to Animate Weapon, which is a totally different playstyle. And then I'll go to my zombie build, which has a very different playstyle, even though it's close quarters, like the Righteous Fire one. It's still a very different playstyle and mentality, and you're positioning yourself differently. And so because I build hop, is that what it's called? That's probably what the cool kids say. I build hop. Sometimes I forget that not every boss is supposed to be easy, or I'm used to playing zombies and I crush this boss and I go in there with Animate Weapon and I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot I shouldn't be doing like bonus damage with increased AoE because I don't invest in life in my weapons, right? So they die. And so I guess my mentality was better on my second session and I remembered, the pros and cons of each build. So it's funny how like the game, obviously it's not the game's fault. The game doesn't change, but based on your mood or mentality, you can have a completely different experience. So I had a really good week, but in my theory crafting. So you know how I have with my guides, I have a red minion gem build, a green minion gem build, and a blue minion gem build. And I couldn't find a way to make dominating blow work for me, even though it's a very simple build to use because it's a strike skill. I want to be able to play all my guides on PC and I can't do strike skills, can't fine tune my clicking on PC. So I couldn't do dominating blow. So I went with the Righteous Fire and Golems, but I don't know why, but it just clicked this week that I can use Dominating Blow and trigger it as an AoE. General's Cry. Have you ever paid attention to General's Cry? It's basically a trigger. It's a war cry that when you're around corpses, when you use the war cry, some mirages come up. They don't actually consume, like if you cared about the technicalities, they don't consume the corpse. It's just a mirage that comes up from corpses. So you just have to be around corpses. And then those mirages, they last for, I think it's 4 seconds. And they'll just blitz. They'll just run to the first enemy they see and they'll whack. And they'll whack it. And they'll whack it with the linked attack skill. So it's basically a trigger for whatever attack skill you want. So I came up with the idea of using General Cry with Dominating Blow. So all I'm doing is running around General Cry, and I'll have Desecrate either attached to a low-level cast and damage taken, or I'll self-cast it, and General Cry, and then all of a sudden I have all these Dominating Blow kicking around, and I didn't have to click on anything. So I found a way that I can really use it on PC. It does make it a 6-link does turn into a 5-link, but it's such a stress-free play style, especially if I find a way to make my Warcry an instant skill with that keystone at the bottom there. So and that was a lot of fun. I've been theory crafting with that like crazy, especially because when you're doing any minions, you always want to go Necro or Guardian because the damage is so great. But every Warcry, this one anyway, taunts. So I need to be able to take crazy damage. Otherwise, there's no point in me doing this. If I do a Necro and I don't have good damage mitigation for all types of damage, especially physical, like what's the point? I'm going to die every time I use it. So it's been a lot of fun theory crafting General Cry with Dominating Blow.
Sweet.
That was my PoE week, and I didn't actually start Flashback. So this week, of course, I obviously played Endless Delve as well, and I really enjoyed it. But I didn't get to start Flashback. So we'll be talking lots about Flashback because it's only Friday today, and I probably would have had maybe an hour before we started recording to be able to play it. So we'll talk about Flashback next episode.
Not lots. It's a short conversation.
For you, I think I'm going to like it. I was watching some people play today, and it was awesome. I was hanging out with Shaq Central today on his broadcast, watching him play, and it was a ton of fun.
Cool. All right, let's talk about this week in PoE. There were a couple things that happened.
Oh, goodness gracious, weren't there ever? You see this community showcase? I always like those. I know we shout them out every time and we're not very specific with them, but I think they're really cool. I love the fans of this game. It's so great to see. And I love that GGG acknowledges them. You know what I mean? And there's probably so many people that don't get their art put up, but I love it. Absolutely love it. So good for
cool
you.
That they call people out.
Yeah. And if you're one of those showcases that never gets called out, don't worry. Your stuff's still fantastic.
You just got to try harder.
I do want
You're awesome.
I do want to squeak this in this weekend. You know how every weekend their sales are, instead of daily, they have weekend sales and then they restart to daily on Monday. It's a pet sale this weekend.
Cool.
So got to stock up on some of the $2 and under pets. That was nice. Hideout's looking as sexy as it's ever looked.
God.
Oh, you don't even know.
I got a pretty good idea. Pretty good idea.
It is loaded with insects and rodents.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
That's disgusting.
And the occasional flashy thing, but it's pretty sweet.
So their big thing was the new core packs. Now, okay. So you probably had way more time to look in depth into these than I have. So I have them up in front of me. I looked at them this morning.
Okay.
And just quickly, I think I watched some of the videos. So I'm just going to, I don't know, let's just bounce off each other. But I'm going to tell you the very first, as soon as I opened it, because I was talking about it with my son and he's like, hey, did you see the new core packs? I'm like, no. So we looked at them together because he had already seen them.
No, I wish I didn't. I'm busy.
I'm very confused. Like it brought up so many questions. I was like, well, wait a minute. Why are they bringing out core packages that are based on previous leagues?
Right.
Especially because typically the core packs have something to do major with something in the game.
Something permanent because they're the annual core packs. They only get replaced every December/January.
100%. So, and then, like when the last ones came out, that was when there was this huge change to the end game and to the map device. Like the Atlas completely changed. So, but then I'm looking at this like, well, what? Why did they pick these ones? What's specific about these ones? And okay, so
go on.
Okay. Did you have a favorite of them?
Yes.
Is it Breach?
No.
Breach is so good.
It is.
And it's only the second highest tier.
I know.
And you know what I love? I love that the best you will ever get is footprints that look like my portal.
I see. Maybe that's one reason why I didn't go. I actually really like it. I really like it. Now let me throw this in. I think every single GGG employee listens to us because they heard our portal cry. All of a sudden, every single pack has a portal. It's awesome. And I actually really like the Breach portal, but I still really want yours. So there was a part of me, and this isn't the criticism because it looks, shut your face. It was like, I really want your portal.
You'll never get it.
I really need to, I like, it's going to be worth it to buy it for me. And so I was secretly hoping when I noticed the theme, I went back to Breach and I was like, oh, but then when I was staring at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that thing in the background with its arms raised. Oh, that looks so
how
cool.
The portals come up. Okay, so so Delve is the bottom one. The bottom tier is Delve. I think my favorite part about that one was the portal, and mostly because the animation of how it opened and closed, it almost looked like the guy was like slamming the ground to make the portal effect open. Otherwise, it didn't stand out much to me.
I didn't actually watch the videos. I just looked at the pictures and the screenshots.
You didn't see any of the animations of like what the things were?
No, I just looked at them because the theme of them boggled me to the point where I'm like, what was your first thought? My very first thought was that masters are changing. Very first thought, because they're going, all of a sudden you have some stuff, but you look at what these things provide and there's so much that you can do. And none of these things, all these things are begged for over and over and over. And none of them are highly criticized to the point where people don't want them. The only criticisms these specific leagues have are, we absolutely love them. This is what would make them better.
Well, how would that have effect on masters?
You change the masters again. Like, so now instead of having, like, obviously Nico's still there and Zala, unless they're killing her off. Oh, wouldn't that be great if Alva was gone? But I actually like June and I like Einhar. But the first thing I thought was that masters are changing again. Delve, Breach,
I didn't see that.
Abyss. Now, I don't remember the Breach or the Abyss NPC. So I don't know if that was even a possibility of masters changing, how that would work. Obviously, Nico's there. Harvest. Yeah, I mean, when you think about Harvest going core, and now there's another different type of Harvest core pack, you're thinking, okay, well, that could definitely be added in as a master mechanic to try and include that, because now, like, we put a lot of effort into our masters and into their missions, and sure, it integrates it into the map, but maybe Endless Delve has sparked now Masters maybe have like their own separate entity in the game that also coincides with mapping. So now they have had a couple other comments since, so my opinions not necessarily change, but they're absolutely boggled. And did you notice do you want to go through each one, or because I wanted to really bring up what the Atlas core pack looks like.
Okay, well, Breach looked awesome. I liked the look of Breach. Everything looked good about that one except the arms. I didn't like the arms on the armor. They were too weird. Abyss was my least favorite.
That's my favorite. I absolutely love it.
The portal was just meh.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Oh. It was of all of them. You know what? It was maybe second. It was in my low two. Harvest to me looks like World of Warcraft.
Oh, does it?
That as soon as I saw like the armor and the like helmet, and first off, the back attachment is way too big. The one that's like a tree with spider webs going between it. Portal though looks awesome for that one.
Is the NPC a part of the portal?
Yeah. Anytime you open the portal and all of them, something comes up above.
Oh man, they're getting so sweet.
And it's interesting because if you use the small map device, when you open the portals, you get one of the apparitions above the map device. But if you use the large map device, the apparition shows above each portal.
Oh, they made it different. Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
And then the Atlas core pack, I really liked it, except for the arms, the back attachment with the arms.
Well, don't you remember Dark Souls 3?
Yeah,
all
but
those like ghostly arms for me, I'm obviously going to love it. But doesn't that make you ask a lot of questions? What's this Atlas? The representative of the Atlas is Cyrus, right? Like that's or Zana. Like they're the only two core themes that revolve around the Atlas, right? They're the heart of the Atlas in the story. So now look at this. Now what?
What? I don't understand. What's your point?
Well, it's something totally different. It's this called the Atlas Core Supporter Pack.
Yes.
But this has nothing to do with either of them as far as we know. It's a completely different character, completely different theme. The portal doesn't look like anything Shaper, Elder, Cyrus. So now it's like, to me, before they came out with any other statements, I'm like, okay, something is happening to the core of the Atlas, like boss related. This looks like the last boss of whatever's going to happen.
Oh, I don't know if I see that because some of the other ones don't have anything like Abyss and Breach. Those and even Delve, I don't know, is that supposed to be Nico that's coming up above it? Like Breach and Abyss don't have anything related to them.
No, but those specify whatever league, whereas this one just says Atlas.
It is weird because it wasn't a league, but
right. So like its league per se is the entire Atlas, and this is your representative of the Atlas now. Mm-hmm. So that's where my mind went.
Yeah, I don't think I went quite that far. Although I will say that portal, really cool because there's like a flowing cloth across it on the Atlas Core portal.
You know what's really hard? As a console player, you're automatically given the Canadian price. So it's not like I'm getting duped. Like when I click in the game, we get the American price, right? And then it just gets converted on our credit card or whatever it is. Whereas when you're on console, it's you get the like $20 increase on your stuff. So I'm less likely to, dupe myself into getting it.
I don't see myself going for the highest core pack on this one because the only thing I like on the highest, no, it's just the portal. It's the only thing I like out of it, and I don't care so much about the like signed art pieces. Maybe once you see them, maybe that'll change.
Hey, wait, there is what are those? The Abyss? Oh, those are footprints. Son of a they're still cool though. The Breach is awesome. I would go Abyss. I just think that is so cool looking.
Yeah, I will go the Breach for sure. Abyss will be dependent for me on what the t-shirt is. It's interesting. This is the first time they're ever letting you choose. You have an option with the t-shirt now.
Isn't it so good? What a great idea. As long as you get it within the year. I've heard they're really slow.
No, their shirts are really good because they ship out of the States. So their shirts are actually not bad. But when you're ordering the maps, because those ship from New Zealand, those take a long time. In fact,
Atlas changes by the time you get it.
I don't have my last one that I should have.
Is it for the current Atlas?
It's for the ones that just ended. I still don't have the cloth map for that one.
I'm still waiting for my Atlas table and my hideout the atlas that's actually displayed there. I'm still waiting for that to be updated to the current atlas because it's still the Shaper atlas.
Never going to happen. Anyway, the packs look cool. What a weird... Okay, so you want to know what's really weird? I was thinking about this actually yesterday because I hadn't had a chance to actually check them out. But it's really... I'm curious if they had to think, like, do we... Because normally when you release something like this, there would be a league or something that would be kind of tied in to this. So from a business standpoint, they kind of need the money from this. Right? Like we're at Christmas time. This is when people are going to be spending bucks.
100%.
So you come out with it, but it's kind of weird to come out with it
and not know what the league is
when there's no context behind them except just question marks of like, what is this? So
January 7th is that. That's 1 week before league launch is when they just all their stuff. I can't wait.
So that was all the core packs. Now they came out with a teaser. A 313 teaser.
Oh, yeah.
Again, this goes back to our maybe we just winged it a little bit. Well, Justin winged it. I didn't even know there was a teaser. So can we just take like a half-second blip here?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Huh.
Makes you ask a lot of questions.
What is happening? So like right off the bat, they actually have the player in the shot, walking up to some like massive map device.
Yeah, it's like the big map device in your hideout, but way bigger.
Like
and
a billion times bigger.
It. Yeah, you walk on it. Yeah.
And then
but they had 2 combat scenes, and it looked like both of those combat scenes were like an arena. It was like that big portal device that you were standing on turned into
yeah, it did. Yep.
That's what it looked like to me.
Well, what on earth is the one part where there's like an additional tree?
Yeah. There's
no way those are ascendancies. I saw somebody say something about ascendancies and I was like, what did I miss?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's excited for that. So when you start seeing something that looks like it clicks. Someone on our Discord, though, let me quickly double check who it is because it was really cool. They came out with HFOC. Am I allowed to say that? HFOC came out with a pretty cool picture. Can you see it?
I saw a picture earlier today, yeah.
So the colors that you saw on that ascendancy tree, per se, represent some of the leagues that are in the core pack, but also some of the other leagues. And so maybe it is. I mean, it seems like a really legit guess, but maybe those are the types of things somehow you unlock them or you apply for them or you use them. And that's the type of environment you're going to be fighting in your arena.
That is weird. Cool. That's very cool, though.
Yeah, it is. Bex was saying that this...
So it's not PoE 2.
Well,
most likely.
So 2 things regarding that. She said that this is not replacing the endgame content. It's to exist beside it.
Well, what does that mean? Like Heist existed beside?
Well, sure. But this isn't League. This is core. Or maybe not, I guess, because it's a 313 trailer. So no, maybe I'm sorry.
Sounds like an assumption, Tyler.
It might be, but somebody did actually ask. Somebody else had your prediction on Reddit. I snoop on the GGG comments, and so somebody asked Bex about what your thoughts are about if 313 was going to be PoE 2, and Bex said, "Here, I'll just read it out loud. I can imagine a scenario where we'd surprise you with the announcement, but not with only a week between the announcement and the league launch. You'll definitely know when it's coming."
Yeah, a week ahead. I see what you're doing here, Bex. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But wasn't that a cool video? I mean, a teaser trailer, because the January 7th still a ways away. Like, they're doing this so different because of Cyberpunk and Christmas and COVID. So I'm excited. They said they're going to be doing stuff like drops and things like that for their Twitch live stream. And it's going to be a huge stream because they have so much content to cover.
Oh, yeah. So at the end of it, they said something about there's going to be a live stream. Watch it live on January 7th at 11 a.m.
Our time, yeah.
I'm impressed that it shows PST here. Is that just...
They always do PST. It's always California time. Yeah, that's where a lot of the video game companies have their headquarters.
So I'm curious what their... I'm curious to see what their live stream entails. I'm actually a little bit impressed that they're doing their own. live stream?
Yeah, I mean, COVID changes a lot. Maybe it'll become a regular thing because...
Oh my God, I hope it's a Zoom meeting with them all at home.
all asking each other's opinions. So, how did you enjoy working on this new expansion?
Just unmute your mic. Hey, you got to press the button. That would be awesome.
But they have lots to cover. They have the new core that's coming into the game for the year, right? Because this is always their Atlas change or expansion. They have 3.13, right? But they definitely have Harvest that's coming in as well. So that's another huge topic that they know they're going to want to cover a lot of ground. Another Reddit snoop I said, this is from Bex, we're expecting Heist to become core Path of Exile content, but we recommend waiting until the 3.13 announcement on January 7th to find out the relatively low number of changes it's going to receive to make it core. So now they're going to also have, so they have the core game, they have 3.13, they have Harvest, they have Heist. Like that is going to be huge. And of course they're going to have their normal kind of, well, not going to, they're likely going to have some sort of Q&A with somebody somehow to answer all these questions. It's probably going to be hours. I'm just going to set up my tent in my living room, tell the kids to play in the bedroom, get out of here.
I don't think it's going to be that long, but it'll be cool to watch.
Oh, I can't wait. It'll be nice to watch. Yeah, whenever it is. And Bex did also, she gave Camille a shout out both on Twitter and Reddit, specifically calling him out for being so, like, for his stuff being so fantabulous this league. Real word.
Like
word.
Upcoming? Or, I mean, he's
for 3.13. She was just praising him. She was over the moon with what he did for this league. So I can't wait because I have Heist as my hideout music right now. Those drums. So rad.
That's pretty sweet. So they put out a tweet that you mentioned. Can I read it? Because I haven't read it yet. So this will be a live reading of a Path of Exile tweet. How exciting for everyone. It's like story time.
Are you going to read it out loud?
Yeah. What? It'd be weird for me to read it in my head on a podcast.
Well, you didn't like watch the video. Anyway, go ahead. Whatever.
Good tidings, nomad. I am a simple messenger from a place of great darkness and great distance. Those great and unreachable have heard the silence echoing from that which once hunted here, and they have turned their gaze to this place. Rejoice, nomad, for she approaches, and she seeks to witness your struggle. I don't have a damn clue what I'm reading. Like at all. We talked about this in one of our episodes. I don't remember if it was the normal one or After Dark, about the whole lore side and how I don't know. This would not even give me an inkling of a thought of what that means. I love that they put she in italics, like that's going to change something for, maybe it does for some, does not for me. Can we kill Xana yet?
It'll happen. Ben, if they don't kill Xana and she's in PoE 2, she's going to be old. Mm-hmm. PoE 2 is 30 years later, right? So she's going to be like the old hag you do your trading with, and you buy all your, like, what are they called? The bone things that let you travel back home. Homeward bones. Anyway, whatever, man. So I've always intended on getting into the lore, but I keep getting sidetracked with other books I'm reading or other stories. So I think I'm just going to knuckle down and do it. I'm just going to like ignore my books. I'm going to crush lore on the wiki, maybe watch some of, who was the YouTube individual that we mentioned that does a lot of the lore stuff? Kitten?
Yeah, Kitten Cat Noodle.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out too. Anyway, I really want to get into it, but somebody came out. I remember a long time ago. There's some things that GGG really tries to be very careful of when they speak to the community about things. And I remember one time they were just heartbroken that they accidentally let out that Kalandra was a she. And so somebody on this post, like on this Reddit post, they said, is it Kalandra? And now there wasn't a response to it, but maybe there was, but my brain didn't even think of that. And all of a sudden I'm like, maybe they're bringing out like the most epic hidden character of all of PoE lore before PoE 2 comes out to restart it all. Oh, wouldn't that be crazy? If you see Kalandra, PoE 2 is next.
I wish I knew what you were talking about in the sense of like understanding the lore. I'm a little bit of a blank slate here because I play Path of Exile and I kill things and I loot stuff.
Well, just think of how epic it would be for a lore individual for the most epic item in the game.
I'm sure this is a really big deal.
Of Kalandra. Well, it might be. Maybe it's not.
To like lore people. No, but any of this like weird hidden stuff, people that are into lore probably love this because their head starts spinning about like all the possibilities.
Maybe it's John's mom, and she's going to say, actually, you're related to Alva.
The thing is, it's going to come out and we're going to find out what it is. And I'm not even going to reference in my head back to that tweet. I'm not even going to think about like, oh, that's what they meant. I'm going to go like, what's the uniques? What am I, how do I, what do I kill? Where do I go?
Why does my starting equipment not all have white sockets?
Yeah, seriously, linked to, please.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the riddle. Somebody went through a lot of effort for that, and I
have no doubt.
Oh my goodness, that kind of stuff. This is the best company in the world. They're fantastic.
I apologize to say that it's wasted on me, but I am impressed that they do it. If I knew more of the lore, I do wish I knew it, but I don't. So whatever.
You're a prick. I'm gonna nail the lore down. I'm gonna be taking notes. I'm gonna have like a beautiful mind wall full of lore. And I'll update you, man.
I would love you to be able to tell me when I say, hey, why is that tree over there? You can be like, well, they planted the seed back in. That's right. Give me some stupid
in the time of the Marakath.
And I won't even know if you're telling me the truth. I'll just assume it's right.
That's right.
When has that happened, Ty? Where you can just say whatever you want. And I'll be like, okay.
All the time. Yeah. You don't know anything about anything except for tech stuff. Justin, my mouse is skipping. Fix it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that was this week in PoE. It's like whatever. Exciting.
It was an awesome week. Endless Delve. Tell me how you did, what you did, why'd you do it, what'd you build?
I played with Vortex, played with Cold Dot. It was fine. It was good. Like it was easy once I started going. I think we talked again. I don't remember if it was the main episode or After Dark, and I was saying that I didn't like the fact that Endless Delve was only going to be a week and Flashback was going to be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I still do agree with that, but I also, no way I would have lasted longer than a week in Endless Delve. Cool idea, but it does get tedious. That is not to say that Flashback is going to be worth, for me, a 3-week league. But I don't think I could have done Delve for an extended period of time. And it also seemed, again, I wasn't super active this week with regards to like our Discord and people streaming and whatnot, but it did seem like there was a pretty big drop off of interest in Delve. But I did the thing. I got the box and I got to 70, I think, in the end.
Yeah. And so you ascended.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I want them to keep that ascension.
Best part of the game.
So good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna suck.
Hey, you hit this level
now.
Go click this exclamation mark.
Yes, please. Yeah, and you feel like you earned it. You don't feel like you got something too easy.
Well, you don't feel like you earned it with the current real version of it, though.
I started with Fireball. I earned every freaking point I got.
That's debatable. Especially because you could buy every skill for a freaking scroll of wisdom.
Hey. That's the way it should be. That's awesome.
A little easy.
Why?
Why
make buying a gem at the beginning difficult?
It's not the beginning. They were literally the whole way through a scroll of wisdom every single one.
So when you go back to the core game, why? What's the point of having something an alch and something a chance? Why not have it all scrolls of wisdom?
Because it's worth more, Tyler. That's why.
For what? A moment?
No, it's actually forever. It's worth more than.
Well, yeah, in terms of that value, but in terms of what it costs the player. Like how many alchs you have.
Okay. Just because. It would be way too easy, especially in the beginning, to get all your skills.
You know what one of the most exciting drops for me was when you click on whatever box in Delve and you get 20 scrolls of wisdom with one drop. You're like, yes, please. Because I'm IDing tons, right? Especially because you're not crafting stuff, right? Without the crafting bench, you're IDing way more. And I actually had to stop IDing stuff just to make sure I didn't run out of scrolls.
What did you think of Endless Delve in general? What was your overall thought of it?
I really liked it.
What did you get to?
I only got to 50. On both Mayhem and Delve, I got to 50, clicked my thing, and I stopped. I feel like I got a good... I definitely wanted to ascend. I might have gotten to 55 again just so that I could have ascended a second time, but... I wanted to touch on some of my standard stuff and do some theory crafting like I was doing. I really like it, though. I think that setup is really cool. I think if it was ever to go core, can I have that conversation here?
Yep. Because I have a comment too.
If it was to ever go core, it would definitely need some restructuring, right? Like you would have to pay attention. If it was to be its own separate entity, right? Where it was just delve and your characters only
Do you mean
stayed
like a
in
private
delve.
league style or what?
Whether it was private league or you could actually click from the main menu, delve only, and then it would be like a whole separate entity where all your characters that were delve only would share the stash type of thing. You would definitely need to change how characters start, what skills they start with. You're obviously not going to have uniques with all 3 white links type of stuff. So, well, maybe not obviously, but I don't think you should. To me, that makes it easy, especially if you're starting with a skill that you really like or that suits you. But one thing that I think we were talking about this when I was broadcasting, I started after I realized that you didn't have to start with Fireball. I had zombies and they can't last. Oh no, this was the last podcast and my zombies don't last. So it's also a good opportunity, whether maybe it's for them to see how valid skills are when you're starting. Like, sure, they pace how the game is in their acts with the campaign, but this shows you how valid skills are, right? Like my zombies sucked until maybe level 25 and I invest heavily in their defense and their survivability. So I really liked it. Skills and that I like to play were not go-tos for very quick and efficient delving, right? Like I like playing my 3 guides and I like them a lot. They weren't efficient. They're efficient once they're set up and they're efficient for the campaign, but they're not efficient for starting and leveling and going through with endless delve. But I really liked it overall. How about you?
So I actually think the skills are fine in the sense that they wouldn't really need to tone much down because they could make it as simple as saying or like drawing your attention to the fact that is Lanny, right? She's the one that sells the skills.
Lily, yeah, way to
Lily,
go.
whoever, I don't care, the L lady. She's there, and that you can buy whatever you want skill wise. And I think somebody brought it up maybe in Discord. I don't remember. But one of the biggest difficulties in Delve, especially when you're early on, is if you think of the leveling process when you're going through the normal story, you're never bombarded like you are in Delve, where you're just surrounded by enemies. So Fireball, if you were starting out, you can probably go through a bit of the storyline with Fireball and not feel overwhelmed.
In campaign, for sure.
Right. So I don't know that it necessarily needs to be changed what you start with, but I think focusing on the fact that saying, hey, we give you 40 wisdom scrolls, feel free to swap something out. The one thing that I wish they had the crafting bench. I think I found that the currency use was pretty minimal.
Yeah.
When you don't have a crafting bench, because you're not chaos spamming an item. Like it doesn't make sense to. So then they become useless.
Well, I did find that I definitely used currency different. Like there was definitely a big conflict for me for choosing mods over gem links and colors because it was endless delve. I got so few fusings and jeweler's orbs through the leveling process that I normally would through the campaign. And because you can't use them to specifically say, hey, listen, I want a 4-link, or hey, listen, I want a 3-link, or I definitely want this color to roll on this item for my sockets. It definitely made me, I don't think I used any fusings or any jewelers. I just waited for the items to drop. Like again, I didn't get deep into the game. I only got to 50, right? But I did find that I wasn't going to use them because for me, currency with this specific setup, I was saving everything for when I got that item with the great mods. Then I was going to use all my fusings to 5-link it or a great 1 to 4-link, and then I was going to try and get the colors I wanted. I was just letting the items fall as they were.
I had 2 5-links drop.
You bastard.
I couldn't use either of them though, because they were not the right. One was a corrupted 5-link, and again, without having a crafting bench, you can't recolor it. So it makes it, I don't know, crafting bench I feel like is the one thing that it kind of just missed. And if I was to ever want to see it, let's say it was a private league option, because I think it would be kind of fun to do it as like a 1-week private league.
Totally.
I would want to see the crafting bench though, because a week of collecting currency doesn't seem very useful to me.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I thought the event was cool. I liked it. I mean, I didn't play Mayhem, but the idea of it was fun because it's never happened before. It was totally new. I think it's my favorite out of the 3 that are happening in this delay to 3.13.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that I thought Delve was good.
Yeah, me too. I think having something like Mayhem and Delve as private league only options. I mean, I'd love to have them in the game in other ways too. I'm not that creative or haven't sat down to think about how you would go about applying it. But Even if it was to be as simple as taking what they have and making them private league only, and they're voided after, I still think it'd be worth it. I still think it would be fun. If like, some people might like it for 2 months, you know what I mean? I mean, good luck buying it, but
What'd you get for getting 50 in Delph?
Portal. Not just kidding. I got some boots. I forget which one though. I got Sundance boots. No, that's a unique. I got something boots. I got boots. What did you get?
Footprints that I already had.
Ah,
Yay.
that's too bad. Remember that MTX trader that they had that just made the PoE world explode in hate?
Uh-huh.
They should
Still
bring
a
that
bad
back.
idea. No, not that way.
But in a thoughtful way, not in a
better
greedy
way.
guts way. Yes. I do think there, because I saw people talking on our Discord, and there's always people that like, it's awesome to get free stuff. It's silly to complain about free stuff, but there's always that disappointment when you get the same stuff and you're like, okay, well, I'd like to see if I could trade it in.
I still wish. Give me 50%. Give me 50% back. Even 50% of what it was on sale. 50% of the lowest price it's ever gone to.
Let me do my best to invest it in something else that isn't the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I liked it.
There was this was a conversation that came up on one of my guides, but then after that, I started looking into it just out of curiosity, and I'm like, wow, this is a good conversation for Endless Delve specters. Like, there's a lot of people that really like their specters, but I don't know how much you pay attention to specters. I have specters in 1 or 2 of my guides, and so there's always people bouncing things off in the forums and on the thread replies, and people are suggesting this, that. You get this one from a breach, you get this one from this act, you get this one from one of the influenced maps, and there's a lot of really cool specter ideas. I don't really hear people talking about getting a specific specter from Delve. But when you have a Delve only event for an entire week, these specter builds got to come up with something. And so I was pretty curious. Do you think there'd be any monsters that you're familiar, or enemies, I guess, that you can think of in Delve that would really attract you or that you think would be cool?
No, I can't.
Are there any enemies you hate enough that you'd be willing to have them as a specter?
No, because the reason I hate them is because of their after death effect. Like, I hate the icicle guys that explode after death. I can't think of any that I hate just in regular fighting. It'd be pretty cool to have like a bunch of specters of the tier 3 dragon.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, hey?
Yeah, I'd take that.
Now, you remember, those big lizard looking things? They take a lot longer to die than some of the other ones. Their names are, I looked them up because I was doing specters as well. The Deadly Turong, or I'm probably saying it perfect, Deadly Turong, or the Girl Alpha. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. They actually look very similar, but they're the kind of lizard things. They're not huge. They're not bigger than you, but they're quite big, and they have a fire breath that they do that has a huge AoE, and then they also do that tail spin. You probably recognize the big tail spin that they do of blue fire. Those were actually really cool to do. My builds are all physical only, but I had them on for a while, and even though my build was physical only, they destroyed stuff. They did a really good job. At that point, at 50, I only had 2 specters kicking around, but they were really cool. And there's a version of them that gives frenzy charges.
Were specters your main source of damage?
No, they're secondary. I like having specters because I like taking the apes from Act 3 to get the frenzy charges. So that was kind of neat to see. And there's also, those huge spiders that sometimes, depending on their mods, take forever to die. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They sometimes have that big cocoon not cocoon, but like a huge spider web dome that they put over top of themselves. I don't really know what it does. I like to pretend that it's a proximity shield like the other ones, but so I tried using 2 of those for a while, and there was like spider webs everywhere, but I wasn't getting slowed. It was really cool. What do they call them? I wrote it down. Azurite Widows. Those were really cool to use as well. So anyway, I had a lot of fun just with the novelty of specters in Delve. Maybe there's other people, maybe some Delve monsters are very popular and I'm just out to lunch and I don't know this stuff, though it's new to me, so I thought it was really neat. But it got me thinking again about some quality of life things that I would absolutely love to see. You know how one of my criticisms, and I'm sure everybody's criticism of Animate Guardian, is that it doesn't have its own HUD. its own weight for the user to know what you've equipped on it, let alone the gem description of it not not telling you that you're going to lose all those items when it dies. But when you equip an item on an animate guardian, you have to write it down on a piece of paper. And when you switch the item, you have to write that down and hope that you remember to update it, because there's nothing in the game to tell you what you've equipped, what its resists are, what its life is. Nothing. So wouldn't that be neat to have that, though? I mean, specters could definitely use something in that regards as well, right?
You minion whiners.
Well, no, but you need to know what, like, once you've raised your specter, you have no idea what its basic mods are, right? Like, it's not like a dominating blow where you're actually getting a carbon copy of that enemy that you've killed, but there's still certain mods you're looking for. The whole reason, the skill set. There's nothing in the game that shows you what.
I'm just hoping they never come out with it, because I love this conversation.
No, but there's nothing in the game that tells you, are they using attacks or are they using spells?
You just got to find out.
Fire damage? Is it chaos damage? Is it physical? Is it 50-50 split?
It's the beauty of PoE.
How?
Just go do some testing.
I mean, at least with SRS, even though they don't tell you it's physical and fire split converted, at least you can see that the SRS are on fire. So that gives you a hint. But with a lot of these delve monsters, any Spectre, really, you have no idea.
I think if you zoom in, you can tell.
It better be in PoE 2. This nice Spectre animate guardian HUD that's like, or oh man, like that legend, like every enemy you come across, it has like a database for it. It's like, it does these skills. This skill has this second cooldown by default. This skill is a spell that has 25% lightning.
Doesn't the wiki have a lot of that?
No, I have to go to, oh goodness, not for Spectres, no. You have to go to the PoE DB, and for the most part, it's up to date, but there's a lot of stuff that's not there, and half the stuff I don't understand. Like, I don't know which version, which graph I'm supposed to look at, which anything. So
usually the one on the left.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was always looking at the one in the center, middle, down,
that's
bottom,
why.
right.
That's why. Yeah.
Now, another thing that I'm curious though, because this was a unique experience of delve only, maybe it got people thinking like myself about specters. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be like a raise of awareness per se, or if there's going to be like delve monster specters and builds taking off in a big part of the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read any of the stuff about delve and specters, so I'm not really sure. I would imagine not, because I feel like people have a pretty good idea of what specters work, really well.
Whatever, man.
Go ahead.
So, hey, long time ago, you know how I like to post all my broadcasted content. I like to put on YouTube just for funsies, real word. And remember one time out of nowhere, I just noticed that PoE 2 was in. So when you're posting a video on YouTube and you have to type in, or you don't have, you tell the community what game it is, right? You throw it into the data bank, and so you're always typing Path of Exile. And one day I just noticed that Path of Exile 2 was on there. Remember that?
I thought it was mobile.
No, it was PoE 2 was on there.
I thought you mentioned PoE mobile.
No, now you just ruined it. You ruined everything. You ruined Christmas. So anyway, on YouTube.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Wow, you're a jerk. So on YouTube, I'm going and I'm doing the drop down menu, and all of a sudden one day, this is like half a year ago now, but I noticed that PoE 2 was on there.
6
so I got these
roughly.
little tickle. Yeah, something like that. Well, no, it wasn't 6 months. It was about half a year ago. And I noticed that there was PoE 2 on there. So I started getting tickly. Maybe I'm like, oh, maybe it's a spoiler. Maybe I'm finding out the PoE 2 is coming out earlier than everyone else.
They told Google first.
Yeah. Well, maybe by accident, like there's retailers, like Best Buy will accidentally spoil a release date for an unreleased game yet. Well, anyway, in Streamlabs, right? When you're
that's where it was.
Right. Yeah. Up yours.
Right.
When I'm in Streamlabs and I'm getting ready to broadcast, and it's letting me type in which game I'm playing, right? So it gets allocated to the proper Twitch folder. That's what they call it, probably. I saw that PoE Mobile was in that drop-down list, and I was like, oh, well, that'd be a wicked January 7th announcement as well, huh?
What a weird game to stream, though. PoE Mobile?
Oh, who cares?
Your phone would actually go on fire. Like, it would already be hot from the game, but then you start streaming it too, and it would just light on fire.
Watch, the game's actually been ready since ExileCon. They've been desperate to release it, but they couldn't figure out how to actually make it work on a phone.
It comes with a fan. It comes with a fan that you like attach to the bottom of the phone.
or it's like a 5x5 fan. Like it's just huge.
Only if you want to stream.
Blowing at you.
If you want to stream, it comes with attachments that have like fans that come out all on the side.
No, anyway, I saw it, and I know I'm always holding back to ask about PoE Mobile every week because I'm really excited about it. But
I think it's mostly because I keep pushing it.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, I was excited for it.
That's awesome. All right, let's wrap up episode 60, Forever Exiled, a Path of Exile podcast. Everybody, hopefully you guys have a good holiday, Christmas,
yes,
whatever. We'll see you guys in episode 61, which will be a couple days after Christmas, before the New Year's. And this is episode 60, Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
We will catch our patrons in After Dark and everybody else in episode 61. If you're looking for more information, you can find our show notes down below. We've got a website, foreverexiled.com, Twitter, foreverexiled82, Patreon links down below if you want more information about After Dark and our Patreon, as well as the link to our Discord, which if you're not on it, get on it. That's it. Merry Christmas, guys. See you guys next episode.
When COVID's gone, do you want to go do the Rambo tour and Hope?
Done it.
Lies.
Yesterday.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
We're going.
I got to shoot a Jeep.
A Jeep?
It was awesome.
You did not do it. We're going.